And welcome back to the Produce channel for another session with the Paintology drawing app, and to make some nice drawings in the old-fashioned way of using traditional techniques and methods in art fundamentals. So unfortunately, this has been the reason why a lot of us have forgotten about those techniques that have made traditional medium to what it is, still as popular as ever, and and much revered by anyone who looks at traditional art. And the reason why digital art has a bad rap with traditional artists, even museum curators, would you believe, but is because there is a tendency for all digital artists to use tools. And as you know, if you've seen a lot of my drawings, they're based on the principle of traditional drawing and painting, using the minimum set of tools and mastering techniques and mastering art fundamentals. And this is what you should also strive for if you want to take your art skills to a level way beyond the tools itself. Yeah. So I can go into more details on that, but I've got a limited time to do this drawing, about 45 minutes. So I'm going to start right away. And you can see here, this was the last one I did on the Paintology channel just over an hour ago. And you can check that out, that live stream. This one is the reference image that you should have found on paintology.com website. And this one is, so this one I did using the shade and line brush. We're going to do a similar one. Let's just go and save that. Okay. And then let's do draw and trace. Remember, you can open up any images of your own choice to draw. And the reason I've got it in black and white grayscale mode is that it's an ideal way for you to pick up drawing much faster in order to understand one of the fundamental points of art, which is tones and values. So you go to any drawing class, the first thing they're going to tell you is tones and values. And never has there been a time where they've been able to show you this in practice like now, as I'm going to show you tones and values. It's the reason why I can make fantastic drawings on a phone. And you can find many of these drawings I've done. Here, for example, photorealistic, freehand, another one. You might recognize this as a famous emerald drawing by Marciello. He uses traditional materials. I use the Galaxy tablet, and here's one. I consider this to be the fastest in the world, 2 hours to make this drawing. Here, so many examples you can see here. So lots of examples of drawing that you'll find on the YouTube channel, on the channel that I have. So I don't have to go any further than that and tell you that a lot of people mistake my artwork for having done in traditional. That's because I use traditional techniques for drawing. I don't dive into tool after tool to make, for example, this drawing. People would use the blurring, blending, they would find ways to blend. It just completely detracts them from doing a proper hand-oriented drawing, which allows you much more versatility and flexibility in making drawings. The reason why I can push my drawings to the level you saw there. And also, just to let you know, it's actually a lot faster than drawing it the digital way and using digital tools. So that's important to keep that in mind as well. So let's go ahead and start doing this. First, let's draw the outline, okay? Let's use the line brush, okay? And then let's take the brush up a little bit and then keep the cursor position, trace mode. This is a trace mode of operation. Highly encourage you to use this method of drawing. And by the way, if you're serious about learning art fundamentals using the Paintology app and rapidly increasing your skills, you should check out the Google Classroom that's designed for that. and that link you can find in the description or any of the other descriptions on some of the shorts that you'll find there. Okay, so let's this top half is for the reference image. The bottom half is your drawing. You can see there's nothing there, right? And the top half. So it's in a trace mode. And trace mode is an exceptionally powerful method used by professional artists throughout the world in order to develop their techniques, enhance their technique. It's the reason why I can make photorealistic freehand drawing faster than probably anyone I can think of. I don't know if you find anyone who draws like me, do let me know, okay? Because I like to hear from them. I don't want to feel I'm the only one. Anyway, so let's get back to it. And this is a lesson for you users, for yourself to pick up drawing skills really quick. So the first thing is I'm going to do a quick outline of this cat, and that's actually a good practice. What does that teach you? Remember, everything you do in terms of drawing helps to shape something, improve something of your drawing skills. And this happens to shape your drawing strokes. You may have heard of drawing strokes, right? Drawing strokes are exactly what I'm doing, and this is why digital tools are so much, become like a love affair with beginners. And the reason why because they want autocorrection, they want everything to be done by tools. They're not unwilling to sit down and learn. They're impatient with the world, like with the media we have now. People are so impatient. They want to get ahead and make things happen faster. But if you do have a little bit of patience and draw this way, believe me, your method of art will increase tremendously, and most traditional artists will be baffled at the type of drawings you do in digital. And they will still like to think you use tools, but you can show them that was not the case. So just quickly go back. Look, don't even think about it. When it comes to drawing, right, you must remember, if you're a beginner, you have none of the skills. So if you're starting out, remove any of your notions of thinking about drawing and just go with the flow. Become like a sponge, when it comes to drawing, and do not have any preconceived ideas of what drawing should be. And a lot of users do come here and say, you know what, I'm looking for the blending tool, I'm looking for the blurring tool, I'm looking for the auto correction. This app is only available for beginners, children, and how wrong they can be. Yeah, you've seen some of my drawings. In fact, I don't get many comments now. I think that's because they're probably talking to themselves now when people make criticisms like that, because they can't really find answers to why the drawings are so impressive. It's perplexing to most people. So yeah, so do that. So do that. Really, this is all about techniques. Remember, art is all about techniques. A good artist will show you their techniques, but it's very difficult in traditional. And the reason why it's difficult in traditional is something called the drawing process, which I'm going to talk to you in a little bit. But let me just finish this. And then look at these. They're so blurred, okay? And I'm going to show you how to blur this easily. I don't go switching from one digital tool to another. That's not the way I do things. Draw, okay. Let's have a look what we've got. Look, very short space of time, got a nice line drawing ready for our next step. And this is one of the steps I use, one of the techniques. You can do a line drawing or go straight into block coloring, okay? So let's have a look at this actual drawing. Look at the face. It's so focused. It was a bit similar to the dog, pet dog I did a while ago, short while ago, and the focus is on the face, on the head of this cat, and everything is sort of diffused. So this tells us that we could try and use this brush tool that we have here. And notice I have it on grayscale. So remember, always start out with grayscale if you're beginning and learn techniques. Try to always think about techniques, not tools. Yeah, the carpenter is not judged based on his set of tools that he has in possession. His his merits of work are based around his workmanship, craftsmanship, and all everything that he's developed over time. Tools are not going to be the ones that get you to. They're the means to get to the end, but they're not the ultimate skill set any highly skilled professional will have. They have a certain skill set which others won't possess because of their inherent ability in mastering those tools. Okay, so keep that in mind. It's very important. So again, so let's look at this line brush, right? The density. Now the density, and I'm thinking whether to keep to the line brush or use the shading. So I'll decide what to do. But for now, I'm going to show you that the density is, you can think of it like this. It's like a pencil, but it has hundreds of gradients from HB all the way to 1000B, from 1000 HB to 1000B, if you know what that means. You know, in the pencil world, you will know HB goes up to 12B. 12B is very dark, and HB is very light, yeah? So this is like a gradient. Think of like that. When you're at the 100%, you're basically creating the ink-like quality. You can't go over it again and create a better, bigger tone or a lot darker tone. Let me show you this in practice. Let's go back to a canvas here, and then let's pick this black color we have, right? All the way to the black, right? And we've got 10%. This look at this. That's black, right? Now, if we go over it again, it's still black, right? That's because this density is 100%. Now let's go to 50%. Now look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see what's happening here? Basically, what it's doing is operating like a brush, which is operating like any normal traditional pencil, increasing the tonal with brush strokes with each stroke. So that means it gives you flexibility on the opacity or density of the tone. This is highly valuable for any artist who wants to draw and take their drawing to a whole new level, and this is why Paintology allows you to do that. It's actually stuff that digital artists do not even think of because they're turning to tools all the time for blending and blurring. That blending, they would select two areas here, one one area here and another area here, and blend these 2 points. That's how they would work. It's really quite awkward, but I will show you how manual way of doing it, traditional way of doing it, is far superior to digital tools. You will always reach the limitation of digital tools because then you'll be always accessing tools to get to where you want to go. But you will hit a ceiling. Trust me, you will hit a ceiling, and then up beyond that you cannot go. And there's a very good example of why you'll hit a ceiling. Is that I posed this question to Quora, which I'm an active user. You can check it out, paintology.quora.com. And then what I did, I posed a question, and the lady came back to me and said, well, digital drawing doesn't look like the natural way of drawing, but what I tend to find is that digital drawing is very photo-like, and I think I knew what she meant by photo because it looks digitized, animated. To me, it's not a photo because digital art looks to me like animated, and because of all the blending is perfect, the corrections, the lines are perfect, colors are uniform to the highest degree. And then she goes to me, I have to make the actual final artwork, tweak it to make it look natural. And I'm thinking, oh, really? Why don't you start doing it in the natural way in the beginning? And unfortunately, I never got a reply to that. So there you are. What is she was saying is that there's a ceiling where it looks like animated, digitized. You can't go beyond that. And she needs to go in there and manually tweak it. Like she gave me an example of of a drawing of a child she did. She needed to go in and tweak the eyes to make it look natural because it wasn't perfectly round pupil. You know what I'm saying? The hair follicles were not perfectly in alignment. She needed to, you know, mix it up. So what it amounts to. But anyway, less of that. Let's go straight into the drawing, and I'm thinking of how to approach this. So the my thinking is let's draw the face of the cat first. Okay, let's keep that at 100%. Okay, and because we want to keep it 100% as the densest form of that we can get hold of, the densest tone that we can get hold of, and use our color picker. So I'm going to show you, this is block coloring, okay? Look what I'm doing. I'm selecting the color picker and then just going over the areas of the tones that I see are changing. This is highly important for you to get used to tonal changes in an actual image or a reference image or a subject or a real life object in front of you, because you are now beginning to see tones in a different way. You're seeing tones of an actual life image, and you're trying to, can you see these tones? I've got it at halfway mark so I can pick the tones of this, right? Can you see these tones? See that? There. Can you see this variation of tones here? There. I'm just going to pick that out and pick the color picker and get the next set of tones. And then you'll see the ears have so many different tonal values, and you'll be really surprised with how just doing this can bring out some life. Look at the tone change here, right? Face the cat's head from dark to light. Yeah, keep selecting the tones. I've got it at 6.5%, and this is something which traditional people could not tell you. I mean, it's so hard for them to say, you know what, I use this brush, this pencil. That's all they can say. I use this pencil 6B, and but I can't tell you how much pressure I've applied in order to get the shade, right? That's where it becomes difficult. But with digital, it's easy because you can see for myself. I haven't changed anything, 100%. Right? When I go to a density setting lower, you'll be able to see what percentage density setting I have. This is the beauty of digital art, is not in its tools, but it's in its ability to provide tools that helps you to improve your art skills. Okay, I'm just going through this very quickly, and you'll be able to see how all these tones make up this. And look, I'm following the fur of this cat. My daughter actually liked this cat a great deal. So look at this. I'm going through quickly. big of a cat fan. She's 9 years old. So I'm going through it very quickly and following and letting my eyes decide where the tones change and then picking the color picker. That's all you need to do. Trust me, you may think that this is not helping you. This is helping you tremendously. It's the reason why you can make photorealistic drawings in freehand very, very easily, because your brain is tuned into this tonal variation that goes down at such small microscopic level, not totally microscopic, but at a very, we got at 300%. Yeah, when I do photorealistic drawing, I go all the way to 500-600% zoom, so I can get the details I want. Okay. So just go quickly through this, very, very quickly. And don't pay too much attention to what's going on. Just follow the direction of the fur. That's all I'm doing. And every now and then pick that color picker so you have the right tones, because the tones change across the face. Look at towards its nostrils. It's all white. Right? Look there. Look, it's dark here, which is expected. And then don't go take it too far out, because you know it gets lighter up there, okay? And then here, look how light it's going to get here. Right? And then here. Right? Picking the color tones. That's all I'm doing. I got it at just 6.5%. You can use a brush size. You don't have to have this exact brush size. Use a brush size that you're comfortable with and keep playing with it. Remember, one of the important traits as an artist is to have an experimental mindset. If you don't come with an experimental mindset, you're just allowing yourself to be open to other people's thinking. Just like in digital drawing, you have someone who talks about all the tools of this app, how great it is, and then you fall for it, right? And you think, yeah, they know what they're talking about. And then you find yourself immersed in using tools, and sooner or later you realize the limitations of the tools. It can only do animated type of illustrations. Remember that I'm not talking from lack of experience. I am a very advanced user of Photoshop. I've been using it for 30 years, but I would never use it for drawing like this, because to me drawing is the essence of drawing, which is this manner of drawing. If you want me to create digital art, yeah, what's it going to be? Web illustrations, vector graphics? Yep, that's what I'll do. But I won't be creating these art that appeals to me like this using Photoshop or GIMP or CorelDRAW. So always make sure that people who talk and say in great lengths they know what they're talking about. It's probably because they're super excited and they've managed to achieve something, and then they feel that they know it all, right? It's one of the it's actually a psychological term for that, where people in the early stages think they know a lot, but in reality they don't. But anyway, here, look at that, what we've got here. Okay, we've got this. And now, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just continue with this 100%. Yeah, and that's what I'm going to do. Continue with this 100%. Okay, so just going to go get these colors. Yeah, you can see how it changes. and then I'm not touched the eyes yet. Just tidying up the thing here, and then what we have here. This is what we have here, and now I'm going to use a bigger brush to get the rest, and I'm going to go like even with the 100%. So you've seen I've got it at 100%. I'm going to show you some blending technique. The reason I picked this larger brush is that the background is unimportant, right? It's the cat that's more important, right? So I'm gonna just do this in broad strokes, right? Not caring about the actual details, although I'm still using the color picker to find out where the margin changes. That's all. I'm not going to use it as the exact form, right? And then here, I'm going to do the same thing here, go around the, so that was the reason for doing this. Okay, there goes. There, just the shape of its body here, just getting down the shape. Look, it's really big, but it allows me to draw very quickly. And to me, drawing quickly is a good thing because it allows me to get my skills more rapidly. Because I'm one of those people who likes to not rush to the level where I'm going to overlook a lot of things. I actually have a good mindset for picking up skills. I have a lot of skills, by the way, and I've written posts regarding how to develop your skills rapidly, which is, it's all in the mind, to be honest with you. It's nothing to do with being born with it or anything like that. It's all in the mind. A lot of people think they're born with it, and then when you come to look at their own life, they never venture into anything new, although they like to talk about it with some thinking they're experts, but in reality they're not. So those are the people that can actually make you look at things differently, and probably they will be the ones who will not likely to inspire you as such. All right, let's have a look. Okay, look at that, what we've got here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to finish off. Oh yeah, this brings me to the important point on drawing process. So a drawing process, just keep this in mind, very important point. The drawing process is anything, when you've seen thousands of YouTube artists, excellent art creators, take a drawing from a blank canvas all the way to a marvelous piece of art, and you're sitting back and thinking, how did they do that? And then that's the drawing process. Anything they take from zero, like a blank canvas or a blank piece of paper, all the way to the finished drawing or art piece, that's the drawing process. Okay, so the drawing process is something which I found on Google does not talk about in detail, although there's been one YouTuber who talks about drawing process, and to me that's like completely incorrect to assume a drawing process to be more akin to her style of drawing. It's not. A drawing process is because I'm from an engineering background, I can decipher what's being said and have closer meaning to the actual thing. The drawing process is unique to the drawing that has been done. In traditional, it's more unique and more akin to the artist where they draw, but it can never be translated to another artist. They have a different, unique approach to their drawing. That's why the drawing process is a gray area not discussed by anyone, and nor will it be ever be discussed in traditional until now, where we have the digital medium that will clearly show you the drawing process. So this is a drawing process that I'm going to show you, which is something that is never really gone to lengths in the art classes because it is unique to the artist, unique to every individual. And of course, all the teachers will train you in the art of developing these techniques, but I'm here to show you, and it's one of the reasons why many students struggle and find it challenging to understand how to go about completing a drawing from zero to finish. But but here you can see clearly that the digital medium is very black and white in terms of, okay, I need to set the density here at 8%, like the teacher's doing. I need to set it here in order to do that. It's very clear, very black and white, and therefore it can really help you boost your skills rapidly. You won't be scratching your head so much. You'll actually be learning all the time continuously. And part of the developing a skill is to learn continuously without any major stumbling blocks. And the drawing process is a major stumbling block for traditional artists, and hence very few engage in it because they've managed to overcome those hurdles through themselves learning. But a vast majority of others can't go beyond the first or second step, right? Because they don't know how it's done, and in reality, we know how it's done, and I knew how it was done when I was working with traditional, and now I've applied it to digital in the developing this app, and so the drawing process is fundamental to all good drawings. Okay. So this, hopefully, Paintology will show you the new path towards the drawing process, which was extremely challenging to traditional artists. Yeah. So now you will hear the drawing process coming out of my mouth all the time. So what are we going to do, right? So this is the drawing step that I've taken. Remember, a drawing step is is part of the drawing process, but it is a stepwise manner where an artist takes their drawing from zero to all the way to a finished piece of art, right? So the this step, I will stop at this step and tell you that I can see that had I not come to this step in the drawing process, I would not know what the next step is. And clearly, you can see that I have a blank here, so I need to correct that. So let me just go ahead and correct that. Okay. So I'm working with, actually, I'm going to save this. I just want to tell you that I'm working with a prototype of the next release. So we're going through some tests of the coding. So I saved this. So I'm going to go back and just go and then load it in again. So just bear with me. I'll load this again. Okay. So I've got the same drawing here. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to blend this. Look at this at the back. I'm going to blend this. Can you see at the back? I'm going to blend it, and I'm going to switch to the shade brush, and I'm going to take it up to 14%, right? And then keep it at 100% setting, and then I'm going to pick the black color picker. Remember, it's completely in my drawing, and I'm just going to simply use the shade to just diffuse those edges, okay? There. You'd be amazed at how quickly you can shade. And then just go over it. Do everything like this. Just take a bigger brush if you need to. I think I need a bigger this. I need to act quickly because I've only got like 15 minutes actually. So I'm going to go to work fast. But again, this is something you need to do, is you need to time yourself. I don't think time is of essence here. And by pushing yourself, yeah, you're thinking a little bit different. You probably heard about the saying that let's just do drawing really rapidly. And that's one of the reasons why people rapidly draw, is because they don't have time to think and let their prejudices affect their drawings, right? Okay, so just taking out these harsh blocky lines there. I'm going to show you how quickly you can make a drawing really rapidly. I'm going to take that darker color actually. That's all I'm doing. And this remember is the body of the cat. Okay, so that's the part of the body where it's slumbering, isn't it? Peeking out, looking in our direction. I'm going to take that down. It's quite big now because we're in a smaller region. So we want to tidy it up. So we want to have more control over that area, okay? Before we had larger regions, that's why I kept it a very large brush size. So that was the shade brush that I just used, right? Then take that black to show that this guy has a body that we can actually put our head around, yeah? So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to go back to his head and define his face in more detail, okay? So this is what we have. You see, that creates a sense of his body is right at the back, diffused, which is what we want. And then this is his paw. I believe this is his paw, yeah? His paw's there. And we're going to just diffuse. We've got a smaller 12%, which is all right. It's working for us. Right? And then I don't know what this is. This is probably a cloth. Part of the cloth that he's sitting on. He or she's sitting on, right? And then what we're going to do is increase that brush. Remember, I haven't even set so I'm going to take this color and then just diffuse it in to this. So I change the brush size, and then I'm going to take this neighboring color here, diffuse it into the rest, and that's it. We don't have to do anything else, okay? Now I'm going to focus on the face with a smaller brush. Let's save this. We're going to go with the smaller line brush. I'm racing against time, but it's really helping me to think fast on my feet. Okay, so I'm going to go really right down. We haven't been this small in brush size. And then I'm going to do that again. Since this is a prototype, unfortunately, I'm going to have to go back home. Discard. And then open it up in my paintings. Okay, this is what we have. So now I'm going to go here, and what would I do? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it down to 30%, and with a small brush to give it some kind of a diffused effect to this, still using the color picker, block coloring, but with a different, and getting into the more details. So it's the diffused look. It's not like almost like, how can I put it? Let's have a look what it looks like. See, it's a diffused look. So give it a try. Trust me, you'll be surprised with how it works. So I'm going to go to my drawing. Yeah, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to my drawing. This is still way too big compared to the zoom we've got. And then I'm going to switch between my drawing and then the reference image. You see here? So I'm going to pick this, go down to 1.8, pick this whiter tone, and then look here. Right, so I can go pick this white tone here, and then I'm adding just details. So if you can keep it so you know you have the rough idea with your, and then change the tone on your grayscale, right? And then what we have here, we've got the outer edge of that ears, can you see? Right, so I can move this, and then I can go back, and then I can just pick these tones here. Just look what I'm doing here. I'm picking the color tones here. Do you see that? Following the furs. Right? And then look, there's a darker tone here. Just following picking the color tones here. Just following and if it's not dark enough, just change it. Because remember, I've got 40%, 50% setting. So, see this dark tone here? Around the ears here? That's what we're doing. We're going to go again. You don't have to have it at 50%. I'm doing it because I want to get a slightly diffused look, the whole thing. Okay, here. See that area? Just want to get that right. And this. And then if you're not getting it, just leave the colors. Right, use the colors. Right there. So I'm trying to take advantage of the you remember I told you about what happens when I select the density? I'm following the outline of this. That's all I'm doing. Look, trying to create this effect that's going on here with that darker, right, and then it's got darker here. So there, it's sort of down at the bottom, bit of the layer there. Then look, some of the whiter tones. So this really helps you. Honestly, this helps you to appreciate tones like you've never seen before. And practice with it, of course, right? So change the tone, change it again, and add a little bit of that, not too much. Then here, look at that. And then use the grayscale here. So this is a technique that you can learn. You change and look at the original reference image and say, yeah, it needs a bit of that. I'm going to do a bit of this. And then can you see here? I'm going to change up here and add textures. Okay, nothing different. Because we've already had the other colors down, right? Look at the direction now. Notice the direction is going this way around the eyes. So we're going to add that. See, it's going this way in this direction. Right, so you're going to add a bit of that. This really helps you to develop your tones. And now we've got this 1%. Let's do the eyes, yeah? I'm going to show you how easy it is to do. You'll be like amazed, you know. This is all manually done. And then if you think you don't have quite the reference, stick to the 30% halfway mark. and get those tones there. That's all. And that's what really helps you to improve. And you'll see how it can change the whole look. There, can you see that? We missed this grey tone here. So we're just going to add that there. And there's really none of the white tones as such. There. And then we have this. So we can increase this a little bit, not too much, and then get this color. There. There. See that? Now you can take a look and see for yourself how wonderful this right side. So we're going to carry on doing the right side because I'm really short of time here, and then you can see how I'm going with this. Okay, just follow this and then you can learn. Right, got it at 3.75%, which is all right. I've got it at the halfway, above the halfway mark. And don't worry if you're not getting it right away while I'm showing you. Just come back to it and then follow it until you really get a good understanding of how to go about it. Remember, I'm also learning, and I don't claim to be the only method of painting and drawing with Paintology. There's hundreds of techniques that you can develop, even techniques better than me, because, you know, I'm not an artist by training. I'm just doing it because this is an excellent method for people to learn to draw fast and quickly. Okay, there you go. So I'm just going here. I'm keeping it at 90%, so I have more control over what I'm doing. Right there. All right, let's do this nose here. So now let's take it down because the nose we need to be more accurate. Took it down all the way, and then I'm going to go to the actual image and then to the actual nose itself, and then just so you got more control at this high, and this is why the phone is so powerful. It's like a huge drawing canvas because of the zoom feature. All right, there. Then what we have here, got another shape here. There. Okay, so what do we have here? Let's look. There you are. See, so it's coming together. I hope that was the bell for me to leave this session. So I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have. And I will finish this drawing. I'd love to see your drawing. So please do post it on the community section of the app, and then I can provide with feedback. And please do subscribe to this channel, and then I'll bring you another great drawing for me to draw tomorrow. But you can provide me with some subjects that that would interest you. Thank you for joining, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.